Okay, Mr. Nick. Here is my credentials on the video format. I have done powerlifting, bodybuilding, strongman, weighted calisthenics, rock climbing. I've trained well over 7 years. I've coached hundreds of people. And here I am with some programming advice. And I don't like the idea of just giving you a program and just walking away with it. I want to explain what the program's for and how to use it. Just like if I give you a pickup line, say you go up to a girl and you want to go half and on a baby. I don't know, something like that. You don't know how the girl is going to respond. And based off her response is your next steps. Same thing with the program. I can give you a template, but based off how you do with the template and how well you're responding to it is going to dictate what you do next. So I want to run you through everything so we can all go away programming ourselves into jacked and juicy monsters with wonderfully well-structured days of lifting that just, makes me giddy. I don't know. Let's start. You see me? Yeah. Okay, I got an easel on board here. So first thing we're gonna do is pick our split. Now, I put 4 splits here on the board that you do. Push, pull legs, back, chest, arms, shoulders, legs, upper, lower, and full body. Now, you're gonna wanna get to a point where you're training every body part twice a week. I think that's kind of the golden standard. We'll get to why that is in a few minutes here. But if you pick these first 2 splits, you're gonna have to do 6 days just to get through everything twice. Whereas if you want to train less days, upper, lower, full body are your options. So before I get to anything, I'm gonna have a demonstrator come out named Jorge for all the exercise. Mr. Nick! So the next thing is supersets. Now I almost always put supersetting my programs for at least all of the upper body stuff. So if I do a horizontal push like a bench, I'm gonna do a row with it. If I do a vertical push like an overhead press, I'm gonna do a vertical pull with it like a pull-up. If I do a elbow flexion, then I'm gonna do an extension. So if I do a curl, I'm gonna do a push down or like French press. Anyway, on leg days, I'll always put a knee flexion and a hip hinge. I'm definitely not supersetting them, but I'm gonna do them both on the same day. If you didn't catch that, a knee flexion is where you break your knees, something like this for the squat. It's for the front of your legs, your quads, and a hip hinge is where you break at your hips so that it's for the hamstrings, such as this Romanian deadlift or any deadlift. If you don't know what that is or any of these things, look it up. These are your exercises. I put body parts here, put exercises here. Now, if there's something I would recommend, do not neglect your abs early on. Do not skip ab training. You can skip calf training, you can skip forearms, you can skip neck, but do not skip abs, okay? Beyond that, there's a million different ways to make this into a million different variations. There's 50, 100 exercises listed here. You can turn, let's say, a deadlift into 10 different exercises if you want. You can change it to a trap bar deadlift. You do a Romanian deadlift. You could add bands. You could add a deficit. You could change your stance. Bench press. You could add a slingshot. You could change the angle. Dips, you can add a slingshot. There's a million different ways to do exercises. Even just a bicep curl. You could do it with a barbell. You could do it with dumbbells. You do it a million different ways. The point is, the more exercises you have, the more progress and the more fun your program can be. So, there you go. I didn't really mention this in the video, but this is kind of just a random template that I came up with. It is in no way ideal. I'm just showing a very basic example of what this would look like. A really simple template without rep ranges or sets. So I have a 4-day template laid out here. It's an upper lower split that goes through twice. The first day you have upper, you superset a chest. I take the incline bench with a back exercise, rows. You have a second superset of curls and French press. Your first lower day, you do squats or mini deadlift. Your second upper day, you superset dips and chin-ups. Then you do overhead press, hanging leg raises. And your final lower day, you do leg press and deadlift. So there's a really basic example. Now let's get to volume. Okay, graphs. I hope you understand graphs. This is performance versus time. So let's say you never ever lift. And you have someone going to the gym and their baseline strength is they can do 25 for 10 on bicep curls. So they go into the gym on day 1 and they decide to do 25 for 10 and then they do 25 for 9. They do 2 sets of bicep curls. And the next day they're sore and they're actually weaker. But what happens is after about 2 or 3 days, they come back and they get stronger. This right here where they're stronger, this is called super compensation. Now, the reason we want to train every 2 to 3 days is if we don't, this super compensation, eventually it goes back to baseline. So we want to train when we're in this 2 to 3 day period. So we go in, we do 25 for 11. Our performance dips a little bit after doing a few sets. and then we come back and we come back a little bit stronger a few days later. That's what we want to do. Now, our goal with volume is to figure out how little we can do here to get as much as possible here. We don't want to dip our body down this much just to get a little bit of super compensation. And doing more and more and more doesn't necessarily mean this goes higher. In fact, it could just mean we go lower into a pit and don't recover as fast. So we want to figure out how little volume we can do, how few sets to get as much return as possible. Now, what do we do when we stop progressing? That's what we cover next. Okay, I'm not gonna go super in depth on this video on these, but if you wanna keep progression going when it stops, which is called plateauing, you can either add volume. Second option is gonna be to change exercises. This is your most viable option, the one I'm gonna go through, though you can also change rep ranges, which I'll also go through. So, back to performance versus, well, this time weeks. So let's say you do bench press in week 1, you do 135 by 10. And 4 weeks later, you've built yourself up to 185, but you notice that your progress is stopping, right? You're not making progress per training session. So you decide to switch it out, and this time you're gonna do weighted dips. So you start with 10 with your body weight, and then you work your way up over the next 4 weeks to doing some odd 50 pounds added for 10 with your body weight. And then you decide you're gonna start with bench press again. You notice this time when you start on bench press, you start at 155 pounds for 10, and you're able to work up to 205, or maybe 215 for 10 before you stop. That's what you want. You wanna pick exercises in between before you come back to bench press, and this is essentially what you're gonna do to keep your progress going. If there's one thing you can take from this video, feeling like your muscles hurt or like they're burning is a horrible, really bad indicator of progress, like so bad. That's why I put only 5 to 15% of your training is gonna be 10 plus reps. Most of it's gonna be 5 to 10 reps, and then a decent portion is gonna be 1 to 5 reps. It's just relevant training volume. Otherwise, you're just getting a pump, and that really does not lead to progress over time. Anyway, I'd love to cover this in more detail, but I want to get to a final example to finish this off. Okay, let's finish this off strong. I'm gonna run through my program. 6 days, push-pull legs, push-pull legs. This is what I've been doing the last month. This is my structure. So, most of my volume is gonna be somewhere between 5 to 10, like I said. If you look through, let's go through the pull days first. Deadlifts, about 5 to 8. 4 to 10, T-bar deads. Do some chin-ups and dips, pull-ups, dips the other day. So pretty much the same thing. Push day, I'm doing bench press with pull-ups, bench press the second time with pull downs, except I'm doing slingshot bench, so I'm pretty much just changing variation. Then I think I followed up with incline bench on both days and some overhead press. Simple stuff. Then on the leg days, I pick a few heavy compounds and just crank them. That's simple. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna reveal something to you. I am Jorge. There are about 50 things I didn't get to cover in this video because I didn't want it to be too long. So I'm gonna kind of come back to you guys to make advanced things seem as simple as can be, so you can get jacked and stacked and juicy.